Sir, I stand here a proud cadet of the Mississippi Highway Patrol, cadet class number 62. It is my desire to become state troop. In order to do this, I must sacrifice in blood, sweat, and tears. For this I will. I promise to give no less than 100% of my mental and physical capabilities. And here I'm taking it to school. I promise to keep my moral standards high and keep with the tradition of the Mississippi Highway Patrol. And when I embarrass myself, another cadet, or any officer of the Mississippi Highway Patrol, I will always be faithful to God, family, my country, and my state. I believe in God, and with His help, I will accomplish my goal of becoming a state trooper, sir.
700 years before Christ was born, a man named Heraclitus was in the business of training warriors because the world was full of fighting. It's not much different this day and age. Before this year is done, over 100 people are going to die in this profession. There will be a select, predictable few who are going to number that 100 plus. It will be the 10% that does not dedicate to discipline. Heraclitus had this much to say about the business of training warriors. Those who stand where you stand, like what you stand, and for what you stand. Here are his words. You will hear them more than once. They will tell you who we are looking for and who we are trying to identify. He said, of every 100 men they send me, 80 of them are nothing but targets. 10 of them shouldn't even be here. Of the 10 that are left, 9 of them are real fighters. But one of them is a warrior, and I must find him, for he will bring the others back. We are looking for the 10% that do not belong here. So just keep your head in the clouds. Pay a half bit of attention. Complain and moan and groan about the discipline coming your way in your life at this point in time. Identify yourself. Make it easy for us. Don't let us put you through this program and stick you out into that force of 500,000 others who are doing the job and doing it well. We have our eyes on you. You will identify yourself by name and by deed. So stand by.
Let it be recorded on October the 29th, 2017 at approximately 4:15 p.m., the Mississippi Highway Patrol Cadet Class number 62 has officially begun. There are no individuals in this class. You're all in this together. And as you see, as the weeks will go on, you all will start to form a bond. You will get closer. You will be concerned about the person, your bunkmate's wife, his kids, or her kids, and you will form as a family. And that's what you have joined. One of the greatest families in the country, the Mississippi Highway Patrol. But the only one that can keep you here today is the person that's sitting in that seat. It can be done. It won't be easy, but you can take it and do it one day at a time.
We don't kneel for the national anthem, and we stand for the flag. One thing I learned along the way in law enforcement, and I'd like to welcome you all, those of you who are going to graduate and make it March 6th. We'll welcome you into the law enforcement brotherhood at that time.
Just remember that you got to have an overwhelming desire to be successful, and it's got to be much larger than your fear of failure. You got to have an overwhelming desire to finish this, because there's going to be alligators circling you for 5 months, but everything they do has a purpose in mind. It may not be clear to you on the front end. If it is your dream to wear the blue and gray uniform of one of the finest organizations in the United States of America, you can do it. Stay committed. Godspeed to you and to your training for the next 5 months.
The day one, you're coming in, we're coming in and trying to fill you out as an individual. We're watching your character, your demeanor, and how you can respond to the orders that we're giving you. We're looking at leadership skills from day one as a person. We're looking at your character, your attitude, from the time you sign in till you get that haircut.
To come here, of course, you have to be physically fit. You have to be physically ready, and you also have to be mentally ready.
Once you enter the tack shack, there's a line of tack officers waiting for you. And inside that tack shack is a lot of A lot of noise, a lot of beating and banging of metal chairs on the floor and whistle blowing, sirens from the megaphones, and tunes being played over the radio, which become our songs that we play daily.
He enters into the room and he's all of a sudden have 2 or 3 TAC officers surrounding him. And at that very moment, he's being pushed to his limits. And have him to sit down in the chair and you begin questioning him. You begin doing 2 different things at one time. You're cutting his hair and his mind's on you cutting his hair. And then you're asking him questions. You're demanding answers from him. Well, his mind is spinning 100 different ways.
We're going to test your mettle while you're here. That's the nature of this program, is to put you through some adversity to see how you react to that.
In patrol school, you don't get something for nothing. You have to come here and you have to earn it. Not only does patrol school get you ready for a career, but it prepares you for life.
You know, this is only the first day. I've only been here a couple hours. And you know, you start thinking way ahead. You start thinking about accident investigation, rules of the road. You always hear that rules of the road is the first test, and you're thinking that's 3 weeks down the road. Heck, I've only made it here a couple hours, and I'm gassed. I'm done.
You are now in the process of becoming an MHP cadet, which is characterized as one who possesses the highest law enforcement virtues. He obeys orders, respects his seniors, and strives constantly to be the best in everything he does.
From the very first day, you begin trying to build a sixth sense within that cadet. You try to give him that sense of attention to detail at everything he does. And every one of these things are used as a teaching method, where it may be teaching him how to correctly make his bunk, how to place his shoes, how to put his clothes in his locker, how to march, how to eat, how to get into the chow hall to eat.
But all of the chaos that's going on, that's now surrounding that one cadet, is purposely driven. It's meant to distort and to cloud the cadet's mind and see if he or she, one, can set that aside, and given those 3 or 4 instructions already within the last 5 minutes, see if they can carry those out.
I honestly feel it's very challenging because, like you said there, it's never ending. It's like from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep, and sometimes even if you're woken up again, there's going to be a TAC officer in your face.
The military prepares you as far as, you know, the 8-week basic training you go through. Yeah, it gives you an idea. The basic class prepares you. But, you know, and I've been to a lot of military schools, and it's all the same almost. I say the same. It's all pretty much the same type regimen of training. But this is just, you know, it never stops to the last day, you know. So, military definitely prepares somebody. Basic class will definitely prepare. But until you've came through this and experience, you won't really appreciate it, because it teaches you to never let your guard down, because it will never stop till it's over.
Personally, I feel that if you show up to par, look to par, that's 90% of the battle. That's one of the reasons why our boots are always shined. We're always dressed neat, professional, and actually conduct ourselves in a professional manner.
A lot of times people ask, you know, why you guys PT like that? Is all that necessary? It's very necessary. That PT field is where we build that character of that no-quit mentality. When things get hard, we teach them to fight through it, fight through a little bit of pain.
Patrol school, you don't prepare yourself for it. And if you come here for anybody but you, you'll never make it, never.
But I'd remind you, this is just the starting point. You have 19 weeks of training that will lie before you, where you'll be challenged physically, mentally, spiritually, and academically to compete and to perform at the highest level.
I kind of compare patrol school with a jet engine, and what I mean by that, a jet engine is propelled by compression and fuel, and it has a little fire every now and then. And comparing that to patrol school, it's fueled by sweat and tears and a little blood every now and then.
You're gonna be by yourself a lot of times. It's a point to where the TAC officers dig deep into you and bring out that willpower that some of us don't even know we got.
If you can't fire your weapon accurately and under stress, and especially when that tunnel vision sets in and that heart rate gets up to 130, 140, that's why qualification's there, because you're gonna be nervous.
My personal take on that is I feel we have some of the best firearm training, honestly, I can say that's out there. And the reason I say that is because we shoot with our weapon hand or strong hand, and we also shoot a lot with our support hand. And for each round that you shoot, you need to be able to be accountable for that round. So I believe in being proficient with both hands, just in case you get injured or anything, you can still do what you need to do as far as stopping the threat.
They stay on the range about 2 to 3 weeks. You have to qualify with 4 different weapon systems. You have your primary sidearm you have to be proficient with. You have to be able to operate that weapon under pressure. You have to also be accurate with that weapon and be safe with it. And because every round is accounted for. And you also have a backup weapon that you have to qualify with and be proficient with. You have a shotgun that you have to be proficient with. You have a rifle that you have to qualify standing, kneeling, sitting, and laying with.
The weapons training here, and I kind of call it inoculation, I guess, maybe, to the stress of what's going to happen. And I'll go back right now. The training we had today, the force-on-force training, to me is the best training you can get as far as any type realistic training is force-on-force. But that all goes back to the range week of being on the range. If they not, not only firing the weapon, but if they're not comfortable with the weapon, know how to operate it, to break it down, just that weapon becomes a part of your body, basically. And you're going to carry it the next 25, 30 years of your career.
Line is ready.
We take the cadets and they spend a 2-week period on the firing range, and we teach each and every one of those individuals, first of all, safety on how to operate that weapon, and then at that point, each weapon, we teach them tactics to use in case that it ever comes a time where they have to draw that weapon and engage someone. We try to teach them good tactics, good sight alignment, and try to teach them how to do different things such as move and shoot, shoot from the prone position, shoot from the kneeling position, those type things. We try to cover the bases of every bit of that so that cadet has a good understanding of how to shoot a weapon, however, to good tactics on how to use it as well. Defensive tactics, we do defensive tactics periodically throughout patrol school. We start with boxing, and when we get in the boxing ring, we'll get in there multiple times, and what we're trying to show that cadet that if he's hit hard in a certain area, that he will survive, that he can take a lick and he can give a lick. That's the things that we're trying to teach with boxing.
The defensive tactics, the boxing give you an extra tool to help you out whenever you get yourself in a situation to, you can get somebody there for you.
And then we move on into the ground fighting, and we show techniques such as straight arm bars and things to do for a cadet to defend himself if he ever finds himself in a situation where he has to use it. Someone grabs his gun, we teach him how to keep his gun in a holster and keep it away from a violator.
When you grab, I want you to hear, I want you to use your weight to break that.
The academics play a very important part when coming in doing this job. You have to know your laws. You have to know your rules and regulations of the department, policy procedures, your general orders.
This cadet's been in the military, went through Army basic training here. It seemed like they give you they scrape the surface of what you're gonna do. Here, they not only scrape the surface, but they open up the whole pie and show you the ingredients.
The academics, we're looking for some of the brightest. We're looking for the sharpest. Our academics are going to be on a college level. You're doing this without 8 hours of sleep.
You know, you get in that car and that's basically your office and you're driving it. You're enforcing the rules of the road. You out there at the States, you're basically a diplomat of the state of Mississippi.
We're on the road more than anybody. I mean, we on the level with being professional drivers. You know, to be able to safely move from one point to another has to be taught. Also, tactical driving in pursuits and how to safely negotiate through obstacles and road hazards safely, not only for your safety, but for the public safety too that would also be on the roadway.
Very critical. It's very important that you know how to drive. You know how to set your vehicle up going in curves, when you reach the apex of the curve, when to accelerate, when to hit the brake, when to just decelerate or slow down.
Being a Mississippi State Trooper, you know, it's not just writing a ticket. It's so much there involved. It's from being a counselor, almost like teaching, advising, counseling. You know, every day you're talking to people day in and day out.
Flip it up, turn it on, turn it on.
The taser is used as on our force continuum, and what I mean by that is used as an alternative to deadly force. So what we do is we bring the cadets in and we try to teach them, starting with our department policy. We try to teach them when and when not to use the taser, when's the correct time and when's not the correct time to use the taser. And then we explain all the mechanisms of the taser.
Sir, get out of the car and you can't do anything. You've had time to remove the cartridge. It hasn't worked. He is fully non-compliant. I can't go right here.
Each cadet gets to ride the lightning of that taser, and each cadet takes a 5-second ride, and he's shot with the 2 darts in the back. And that is done so he will be mindful if and when he ever has to deploy that taser, that it's necessary to be used at that time, and not to be using it just on an innocent person, or when it's not necessary to use it.
To be the best of the best, I've always heard that the Highway Patrol is the elite law enforcement agency, not only in Mississippi, but in the country. And I've heard from people about the academy. I mean, you don't really know what it's going to be like until you actually experience it firsthand. But from what I've heard prior to patrol school, how tough it was, and I wanted the challenge to see if I could actually do it. There's not really anything you can do to prepare for it. I mean, mentally, you don't know what you're going to go through. You hear what people tell you in past patrol schools, but like I said, you don't really know what to expect until you're actually here. Physically run every day, prepare your body to be broken down, because that's what they're going to do. Mentally, don't be complacent, always be on your toes. Like they say, pay attention to detail. That's what you need to do every single day. Not every day is going to be the same. Like they tell us every single day, don't try to figure it out.
Oh, it's crying time again. You're gonna leave me. I can see that far away look in your eyes. I can tell by the way you hold me, darling.
There is no comparison. Completely two separate schools. A lot more learning here. Just more intense, in depth. You know, with being a police officer or a sheriff's deputy, you have that backup. You know, maybe not as much with being with a sheriff's office, more rural area, but there's always somebody there whether they come from the city. But with highway patrol, you're probably the only person in one county or two counties, or it could be 3 or 4 counties. And so the training is more intense to teach you to survive on the side of the road by yourself until that backup comes, if you get that backup.
Green pounder. Green pounder. Your name is, sir? Yes, sir. Last 4 of you, sir. 5297, sir. 52 what? 5297. 5297.
Don't try to figure out what's coming next. Just, you have to be in some kind of physical shape. I thought I was in the best shape of my life at this point, and I've been tested to the limit. So the physical part, and more importantly the mental part, and if you don't know God, you'll find Him when you get here.
Imagine if you got what you want every time. No struggle, no hard work, no challenges, no hard work required. Some of you are saying that will be great. You would be weak. And then when something hard comes up in your life, you wouldn't know how to handle it because you have never gone through anything that strengthens you. You cannot grow without struggle. You cannot develop strength without resistance, without challenging yourself, without struggle. Pain is your friend. Maybe not in the moment, but for the evolution of your soul, for the long-term benefit of you as a stronger human being, pain is your friend. If you didn't have failures, if you didn't have struggles, if you didn't have disappointment, you could have no strength, no courage, no compassion. How could you? Those qualities are made from your pain and struggle. You are given pain because you are strong enough to handle it. You are given this life because you are strong enough to live it. Because you are strong enough to drive through it, to thrive through it, to inspire others through it. They will look to you and say, he did it, she did it. I have the strength to do it too. You are stronger than you think. You survived all your challenges to this point, and you will survive whatever is coming. But next time a struggle comes, I don't want you to curse the skies. Know that it was sent for a reason and a lesson. It might be to make you stronger. It might be to teach you patience. It might be for you to show others your spirit. There is a reason. So don't you give up. You have a purpose in this world, and you will only find it if you keep going and keep growing. Your struggle is your life. Your struggle is your gift. See, many people look at struggle like it's a bad thing. Your struggle will be the gift that the world falls in love with. Nobody wants to hear the story of the man that was given everything. People want to hear the stories of men and women that endured pain and turned their struggles into a gift. Do you want people just to feel sorry for you? Or you want people to look up to you? Do you want to be a legend? Because legends are born in the belly of struggle. Fear is only a fictional movie, but reality is the struggle. Reality is the struggle. So take the struggle and change your reality. Because the whole time you were thinking that your struggle was holding you back, it was really giving you the tools to become one of the greatest. No more second guessing. No more blaming others for the problems you have in your life. It's a new day. This is my one-way ticket to my dreams. Your struggle is your gift.
You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. You've got to find what you love, and that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become.
But you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. Most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful. There's nothing as powerful. It's hard to kill the human spirit. Anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid, they have happy relationships. Anybody can be positive then. Anybody can have a larger vision then. Anybody can have faith under those kinds of circumstances. The real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down. It takes courage to act. Part of being hungry when you've been defeated, it takes courage to start over again. Fear kills dreams. Fear kills hope. Fear put people in the hospital. Fear can aid you, can hold you back from doing something that you know within yourself that you're capable of doing, but it will paralyze you. Don't allow your emotions to control you. We are emotional, but you want to begin to discipline your emotion. If you don't discipline and contain your emotions, they will use you. And you've got to be so relentless, regardless of what comes down the pipe. You want it, and you're going to go all out to have it. It's not going to be easy. When you want to change, it's not easy. If it were in fact easy, everybody would do it. But if you're serious, you'll go all out. I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back, and I'll be stronger and better because of it. You have got to make a declaration that this is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. Take full responsibility for your life. Accept where you are and the responsibility that you're going to take yourself where you want to go. You can decide that I'm going to live each day as if it were my last. Live your life with passion, with some drive. Decide that you're going to push yourself. The last chapter to your life has not been written yet, and it doesn't matter about what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter about what happens to you. What matters is, what are you going to do about it?
This year I will make this goal become a reality. I won't talk about it anymore. I can.